Please be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
This is a case of McClung versus McClung.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Mrs. McClung, you are here to prove to your now husband that he is the biological father of your 4-year-old daughter, Desire. You claim this paternity issue has fractured your marriage and you need today's results to repair the break in your family. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. McClung, you say you had no knowledge of Desire for the first 2 years of her life, and now that you are married, Mrs. McClung is desperate to prove you are the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mrs. McClung, you say your family is fractured.
Yes, Your Honor.
Explain.
The year we've been married, we've had our ups and downs in the beginning. We got over that. Now the paternity is a continued issue. It's brought up often. Is she mine? Is she not mine? I admit I did tell him at first she wasn't his.
Oh, so that part.
Yes.
That never goes over well.
Right, but in the beginning, we were just friends with benefits around the time of conception. We weren't serious. It was an on and off thing between me and Chris.
So no commitment. So do you remember it that way, Mr. McClung?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to start off by saying I love my family. I really do. But I cannot keep living without knowing if she's mine or not. So, yeah, we was messing around when we first started seeing each other. We was just like friends with benefits. We weren't in a serious relationship. We weren't really together. It was actually the night of her birthday. While she talking, I just slid over next to her, and one thing led to another. So the conversation stopped after that. And it was action.
There was a break in between that. Me and Chris started messing around again a few months later. And that's around the time I got pregnant was when we started messing around again.
Then what happens?
Chris left and went to go do whatever it is he do. And
What do you do?
Well, Your Honor, like I said, we went together. So, for them 2 weeks, we was like just sleeping with each other. And I left to try to get a better opportunity from St. Louis.
How long were you gone?
I was gone for about 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
So hold on, I just have to ask a question that's going through my mind. You all get together and have sex nonstop for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Then you say, I'm gonna take a job out of town.
Yes.
Then you don't even hear from one another?
No.
You don't know anything about this baby?
And I feel like this. She probably was thinking that I wasn't ready to settle down, and she probably didn't want to let me know about
I didn't
the baby.
have time for the back and forth between me and Chris, to be honest. He blocked me on Facebook and everything.
Oh, so now we're getting the real story. So you have sex for 2 weeks,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden he disappears,
Right.
and you get blocked on Facebook.
Right.
Oh, so you think he ghosted you?
Right, basically. So
Oh!
after I got blocked and we hadn't talked, I'm not gonna lie, like I had sex with someone else one time. And I went to go get on birth control, and that's when I found out that I was pregnant.
So you submitted a calendar to the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
That outlines the sexual activity during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please step up to the monitor. And please tell the court what was going on at that time.
This is the 2 weeks me and Chris was together, like strong every night, like for 2 weeks.
So the green is the sex fest
Right.
with Chris.
Right. And then
Okay.
September.
That's in August.
Right, this is August. This is me and Chris. September 5th, I had sex with someone else one time.
You did?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had sex with that other person with no protection?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's why we're here.
Right.
All right. And then you go to the doctor when?
I went to the doctor around the 20th of September. They did an ultrasound. When they did my ultrasound, they said that I was about 6 weeks pregnant.
So once you realized you were 6 weeks pregnant, which is on the 20th of September, you then counted back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
And that's the window of conception, which would have been one of the weeks you
That
had
me and
the
Chris
sex
was together.
fest
Yes, ma'am.
with Mr. McClung.
Yes, ma'am.
And the only other person you had sex with
Was on the 5th.
was on the 5th of September,
Yes.
which was really just 2 weeks before you went to the doctor.
Right.
Understood. You may step back to the podium. And so once you determine that Mr. McClung is the biological father in your mind, did you reach out to him?
No.
I mean, it's one thing to be blocked on Facebook, but you had his phone number too, didn't you?
No. I had no way to get in contact with Chris. Once Chris left at the end of August and he cut off contact with me, I just went ahead and let it be what it was. And I just went with the fact that I said that the guy on the 5th was the baby, dead. So when Chris asked me, once he finally showed up 2 years later, if she was his, I told him no.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
When I got back in town, my cousin invited me over, and she say, "Oh, Taurus and the baby outside." By this time, I want to know if she's mine, so I could be in her life. So I go to the car. I say, "Can I see the baby?" She say, "Yeah." I picked the baby up. I asked her. I say, "Be honest with me, this my baby?" She said no. So I'm like, "Well, can I walk around the neighborhood and ask?"
Actually, he didn't ask.
Hold on, wait, what?
He actually didn't ask. He just walked off with her. He just walked off with
Now,
her.
Jerome, I ain't never heard of such. Somebody says, "This my baby." They said, "No." Well, hold on. Can I walk around the neighborhood and ask?
He didn't even ask.
It's not
he
funny,
walked
but it
around
is
with her.
absolutely ridiculous. But the truth is, it's probably how desperate you feel when there's a question of paternity.
Yes.
So why, Miss McClung, why in the world, when you have the opportunity to let him know so that he can be a part of her life, do you decide to say she's not? And listen, I'm only asking because I want to understand.
I don't want her to have to go through the, oh, he's here today, he's gone tomorrow. Like, that's the last thing I want. I don't want to have to be the one to wipe her face because somebody's here one minute and not there the next.
So the truth is, it was a defense mechanism.
Yes.
And you just said, you know what? No, she's not yours. Because what you were really afraid of is that he would do to your daughter what he did to you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Which means he was all in,
And then he was all
block,
out.
and then all out. All right. So eventually, somehow it all came together because you all are married.
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
He unblocked me on Facebook and started inboxing me, asking
Now, you shouldn't have to have no baby to get unblocked. That is ridiculous. But okay,
So
you get unblocked, and then what happened?
We were talking. He basically he was like, you know, he wants to know for sure that that's his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I can understand that with everything that's done happened. I told him then, Chris, if you're that serious about it, get a DNA test.
Ah, so now in that moment, what happens, Mr. McClung? Do you immediately try to find a way to get a DNA test?
Yes, Your Honor. I got to, me and my cousin got to talking. We got to calling places until she let me know a little information that she, Miss Taurus told her when I wasn't around.
And this is your cousin?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'd like to hear from you. Please stand. State your name for the record.
Antonia Gandy.
So Mr. McClung just testified that after he thought Desire was his, you then had some information for him.
Yes.
Can you share that information with the court?
So he was out of town, and I ended up going to the apartments that she stayed in because my friend stayed over there. And I ended up seeing the baby and her and another dude outside. And they was hugged up and kissing, and Desire was calling him daddy.
I mean, the thing about it is at the end of the day, if Chris cared that much, he wouldn't have just left and just not even had a piece of contact information for him. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, what I was doing, the person that I was talking to at that time, that was all Desire knew. So that's who was there.
Well, at the end of the day, this is a recipe for a paternity question.
Right.
This is why
And I'm
we do
saying
this.
I can understand
No, what
that.
my point is that what you have to understand that all of this set in motion leads to him having doubt.
Right.
and why this situation persisted longer than it had to.
Right. I started paying attention to like how Desire, that hairline Chris got, Zaya has that hairline. Chris
Okay.
also has that overbite. Desire has an overbite. Like, I did my research on that, and that's genetic.
This court wanted to get a greater understanding, and we've asked one of the most premier dentists in the nation and star of Married to Medicine, Dr. Heavenly, to give us more insight on this issue of overbites. Jerome, will you please escort Dr. Heavenly into the courtroom?
I put you right at the podium next to the seat next to the judge.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Heavenly.
Hello, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem.
Ms. McClung has presented evidence that she read that overbites were a genetic trait. Is that hereditary?
It can be. Yes, it can be. It's a recessive trait, just like hair or nails or anything. Overbite can be a genetic trait, yes.
It can be.
Yes.
All right. So can they be attributed to any other factor as well?
Absolutely. It could be tongue thrusting, sucking your thumb, or just sucking on a bottle too long would cause an overbite.
So after hearing Dr. Heavenly's testimony, does that make you even more nervous about the paternity?
No,
It doesn't?
no. Honestly. So.
You know, I already knew from your earlier testimony that when you get in a certain position, you put that wall up, right?
It's easier.
I understand. It's okay to say, this is scary for me. I didn't want to be in this position. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there is a lot at stake, and it's all right to honor that. Mr. McClung,
Yes.
you've developed a relationship with Desire. You are her daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the stakes are very high for you as well. What does it feel like in this moment?
Truthfully, Your Honor, the bond that we got, I love it. You know, that's like doubt. I'm in doubt, yeah, I am. But at the end of the day, that's my baby.
It matters to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay to honor what you really feel. And I think too often we've become a culture where we just want to say what's politically correct, right? And sometimes it's the most beautiful statement we can make, like, no matter what happens, she's gonna be mine. I believe you. But what I also believe is this is hurting you. And that's okay to say. Because that's how we get to the healing, is to acknowledge the hurt first.
Right.
And the reason why this court exists is so that people and families that are in your position can get the truth. Jerome, I'll take the envelope, please. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of McClung versus McClung, when it comes to 4-year-old Desire, it has been determined by this court. Mr. McClung, you are not the father. I'm very sorry.
It's cool, because no matter what, she got me. They all got me, regardless.
Thank you for that, Mr. McClung.
Can I go see my baby?
Oh, honey. We want to give him a minute. Ms. McClung, I'm sorry. Honey, I know that was not the result you wanted. can you tell the court what you're feeling in this moment? What are you thinking?
I'm just hurt, honestly.
Do you know definitively who her biological father
Yes.
is? Is it the guy from the 5th?
Yes.
And do you know where he is?
Yes.
It's okay. We got this. We got it.
Mr. McClung, thank you for coming back into the courtroom. I know it's difficult, and I know you needed a moment, but your wife needs you too. This is not easy, but it's the truth we needed to be able to move forward. And I hope if one thing came out of this, it's the fact that you have to honor your real feelings. You can't put a wall up and put a wall up. That's why you all weren't connecting, because you weren't being honest about what you really feel, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
So please talk to Dr. Jeff and be honest about what you really feel. And then I am hoping that you will be able to reconnect Desire with her biological father, and in that way, this little girl will have 2 fathers who love her dearly, okay?
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
wish you all the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.